Imagine a world where your gas and electric bills are practically competing with your mortgage, and a loaf of bread costs as much as a small treasure chest. Sounds like a comedy sketch, right? We're witnessing a price hike extravaganza that's turning everyday life into an episode of Survivor Real Life Edition. Britain is indeed going back to the Dark Ages, and it's time we explore why. Get ready for a quick one, because in this short video, we're trimming the fat and diving right in. The UK, as one of the world's global superpowers, has a history marked by its familiarity with economic ups and downs. But now it's going back to the Dark Ages. The National Institute of Economic and Social Research has thrown some gloomy forecasts our way. They're saying there's a 50-50 chance the economy will shrink by the end of 2023. And hey, if you're into odds, they're giving us a 60% risk of a full-blown recession by the end of 2024. The director of the National Institute of Economic and Social Research, Jajit Chadha, even mentioned a return to the British disease of the 70s. You know, that fabulous era when the UK juggled high inflation and weak growth like a pro. The United Kingdom has faced a series of challenges, with Brexit being the star of the show. But the truth is, Britain's problems didn't begin or end there. Before starting the chapters of this video, comment below on what you guys think about this issue. Is Britain really going back to the Dark Ages? Let us know if we missed something with some facts. 3 years have passed since the UK left the European Union, and what a roller coaster it's been. First, there was this pesky pandemic that showed up uninvited, followed by an energy crisis. Now, people are trying to figure out if Brexit has been a good or bad idea. Let's talk about trade. When the UK said adios to the EU, it meant dealing with new rules, paperwork, and checks when trading with Europe. There was a bit of a hiccup at first, but things got back on track. Small businesses are still struggling with all this red tape, and the variety of stuff they export has shrunk. Imports had their own drama. The price of some European goodies, like tomatoes and potatoes, went up, possibly by 6%. On the bright side, it made it easier for local food producers to shine, with a potential £5 billion boost. What's worse? The UK hasn't bounced back as swiftly as other countries that had a tough time with international trade during the pandemic. What about those shiny new trade deals everyone was talking about? Well, we've got 71 of them, which sounds impressive, but many are just copies of deals we had when part of the EU. We did sign deals with Australia and New Zealand, not game changers, and might take ages to show results. Plus, some farmers aren't thrilled. Since the Brexit vote, investment in businesses has been as lively as a snail race. Some think it could have been 25% higher if things had gone differently. Uncertainty about Brexit and all its paperwork scared off some big spenders. Jobs also got a makeover. Free movement of workers changed, and a points-based immigration system came into play. Even pro-Brexit folks like Lord Wolfson and Tim Martin are saying, "We need more workers." Some say there are 330,000 fewer workers now, especially in transport, hospitality, and retail. Finally, the UK's economy isn't exactly partying like it did in 1999. It's the only big rich country that's still not as well off as before the pandemic, and Brexit might be part of the reason. The UK government's approach to handling its finances lately feels a bit like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle through a minefield. They went all out to prop up the economy during COVID and Ukraine's situation, and now the bill is knocking on the door, demanding to be paid. Interest payments on their colossal debt are soaring, and it's reached the point where it's siphoning off more cash than a royal wedding. To put it in perspective, it's gobbling up 11% of their defense budget for the entire year. Now, let's not forget their penchant for inflation-linked debt. Now, every time inflation goes up, they have to pay even more. The UK government is on shaky ground with credit rating agencies, and a credit downgrade is looming like a dark cloud over the afternoon tea. But hey, they're not forecasting a downgrade, so let's keep calm and carry on. After all, it's the UK, and they do have a knack for navigating through the stormy seas of economic uncertainty with a stiff upper lip. Between July 2016 and December 2022, the UK found itself with 5 different prime ministers and unpredictable policies. In September 2022, Truss was elected as the new British Prime Minister. She tried to push through an aggressive tax-cutting policy and increase government spending. With inflation soaring and markets on edge, the timing could not have been worse. The situation in the UK was so chaotic that it felt like a Monty Python sketch. Picture this: Truss in a top hat and monocle announcing tax cuts without consulting anyone, while Chancellor Kwarteng juggled budgets like a circus performer. Their mini-budget was more like a comedy of errors, creating economic uncertainty. Then the Russia-Ukraine conflict came out of nowhere, catching us off guard and causing inflation to skyrocket. The Bank of England raised interest rates, leaving homeowners trapped in a financial sitcom with ever-increasing mortgage payments. In August 2023, the UK's inflation rate decided to take a breather at 6.70%, as if it finally realized it was running a marathon. It's like inflation said, "Hey, let's not sprint at 9.90% like we did last year. That was exhausting." Some economists whispered that the Bank of England might have been a bit late to the party, allowing demand-driven factors to do the Macarena with supply issues. Now onto the drama queens of inflation: food and energy. Food inflation also played a role. Items like milk, cheese, and eggs decided to go on a diet and slowed down their price hikes. Although they were still rising faster than your enthusiasm for Monday mornings at 13.6%. Oil and gas were apparently the cool kids in town post-COVID, and the war in Ukraine meant they were even more in demand. But Russia wasn't in the mood to share, making prices skyrocket. Things got extra spicy in the UK when February brought us a vegetable shortage that made food inflation hit a 45-year high. An April report by The Guardian states that 1 out of every 6 young adults is stuck in lousy housing conditions in the UK, and 1 in 10 people across the UK, a staggering 6.5 million, are in on this unfortunate joke. Think of leaky roofs, unreliable heating, and cramped spaces. Rising rents and mortgages are the antagonists, making it nearly impossible for folks to escape these less-than-ideal homes. The main characters in this housing drama are young adults, low-income families, and minority ethnic communities. It's a serious issue masked in a somewhat absurd situation. After being elected as Prime Minister in October 2022, Rishi Sunak set out 5 priorities for 2023. However, his priorities sound like a to-do list that's been left out in the rain, a bit soggy and struggling to hold up. He's got a laundry list of challenges, NHS waiting lists that are longer than a Tolstoy novel, boat crossings that feel more like a waterlogged misadventure, and the inflation rate doing a limbo dance. How low can it go? When it comes to government debt, it's rising faster than a helium balloon at a kid's party, and economic growth is giving us a performance worthy of a snail's marathon. Sunak might be celebrating his ability to halve inflation, but for most folks, that's like winning a race where the finish line keeps moving. In the real world, where bills and grocery prices never seem to catch a break, these macroeconomic numbers don't mean much to the average household. Sunak's challenge isn't just about meeting these goals, it's about convincing voters that he's tuned in to their everyday concerns. It's no wonder Labour is ahead in the cost of living polls. Sunak may say his plan is working, but for many, it's more like a magic trick that's yet to reveal its secrets. In the midst of these economic challenges and political uncertainties, one thing remains clear. The people of the UK are facing a host of pressing issues that affect their everyday lives. While the numbers and forecasts may paint a complex picture, what truly matters is how these policies resonate with the daily experiences of citizens. What do you think are the most pressing issues facing the UK today? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this important conversation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.